Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with digital ATV in the DVB-T format. To find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, please Google WW7ATS. That'll take you to our homepage. There you'll see the exact frequencies we transmit on and the exact frequencies we receive on, and a little bit of history about our organization. Also, you'll find a link that will take you to YouTube, where we stream our net sale Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 for our voice transmissions. And please note, you will need a tone of 103.5 to get into this net. Again, you'll need a tone of 103.5 to get into this net. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact on the 08 machine before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Hearing none, and good evening. This is, again, the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Checked in by a video link already is Ron, KD7QKU, Bob, K9PQ, Wade, W7ITL, Jim, N7QO, Carlos, AD7NP. Is there anybody else who would like to check into the net? Hearing none, we'll start off the net with Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
KD7QKU. That was strange. Every time I keyed up the microphone, it seemed like my picture went away. But now it seems to be working fine. Well, good evening, everyone. Nice to see Carlos back. So let's see. Today was my brother and sister-in-law's 60th wedding anniversary, so they had a party this afternoon. I wasn't sure I was going to get back in time, but I did. So it was nice to see a lot of friends and relatives we hadn't seen for a long time. We didn't have as much rain today as I thought we were going to have. It did rain, but nothing like I expected. I just watched on TV, I think it was Oregon just barely beat Wisconsin. Oregon's 10-0. Wisconsin was 5-4. And it wasn't until almost the end of the fourth quarter that they finally got ahead. And then they intercepted a pass, and Wisconsin got the ball back, and there was 2.5 minutes to go, and then Oregon intercepted a pass, and so that kind of was the end of the game, really. So I do have a little bit of video I can show if we have time. So I'll just turn it back to Dave, KD7ZYM in the group, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Let's go on to Bob, K9PQ.
Hey guys, my color balance is off. I stepped away, and the green background gets me every time. So I'm looking like I don't know, like I painted myself orange with some, some very bad suntan cream. Anyway, so I tried out. I got the low noise amplifier, the same one we use at the repeater. I got for my setup, and so I expect to be able to get in from more places. I chose not to go back to Magnuson. I don't, I'm not expecting anything really bad to happen, but I just, with those cars driving through on a Wednesday, I figured on a Saturday it'll only be worse. So I'm just, not going to, probably won't be going back there till it's light at 8. And unfortunately, the park I wanted to use close to my home, that would be really, I'm absolutely sure, no problem at all. It's a very small park in a small, in Briar, if you know it, a very small suburb. They close at dusk, and they even have, apparently this has been a problem, so they even have a no parking while the park is closed. So I can't even drive in there into the parking lot and park for the net. Ron is waving at me. I think I don't know what he's waving at. Oh, someone else, I guess. So let's see. That's why I'm here at home tonight. But I am going to check out other places. It's a very common thing these days for parks to say close at dusk, because the police don't have to want to worry about coming around when it's dark and what might be going on. So we'll see what I can do. I don't even need a park, just a parking lot somewhere. But and now with the low noise amplifier with the LNA, I think I've got a better shot of finding someplace close to home, or at least another place even out near Magnuson, but it wouldn't have to be at Magnuson. Someplace a little bit safer. So, all right, that's it for first go around. I'll send it back, K9PQ.
9PQ, thanks for that. And the orange came back to normality after a bit, so I guess your camera did white balance. Thanks for that, Bob. Well, let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody. Hi, Mika. Anyway, so Dave, I don't know if you ever heard of Gus's Fried Chicken in Phoenix, but I discovered it. I don't live very far from there, and I sure love it a lot, so that's what we had for dinner tonight. Then there's another place that I was told about in downtown Phoenix on Central called Chicken and Waffles, and I heard that's a real popular spot. So there's just so many places to eat out around here. It's just crazy. So we're trying them all. So anyway, nice weather today. It started out cloudy, but then bright sunshine this afternoon, and but cool, probably around 65. I think we expect sunny and 67 tomorrow, but that's okay. That's just the way I like it. And I've been trying to pay a little bit of attention to the guy. I was watching Boise State for a while, but I don't know. Either I fell asleep or lost track. Kind of like the Mike Tyson fight on Netflix. I fell asleep before that was over too. So I don't think I missed too much. K7ITS, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. Let's go to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
Well, this is W7ITL in Tacoma. Let's get my video going here. I think you guys should be seeing it pretty soon. I just got to switch some stuff over here. The repeater. See if I'm coming in. Yep, I'm coming in the repeater. You should be seeing it here in about a second. Oh, there we go. Well, today I finalized my build on the receiver that we're going to probably end up using at the repeater site that will have the capability of keying the repeater up when a signal is received. Let me see if I can show you guys. So this is just an HV110, and as you see there next to the HDMI port, that's a RCA jack that I'm using as a PTT circuit. There's a few components inside: transistors, capacitors, resistors, and a reverse diode to prevent voltage getting back into the receiver. And tomorrow we're going to be doing some testing tomorrow, so I'll bring that up with us, and we'll see if we can get the repeater to key up with the receiver. So that is that. I went to the Radio Club at Tacoma this morning and visited with some folks, and I brought the DATV gear. I've been trying to bring it every couple of weeks just to show people what DATV is, and I got one guy that was interested. I don't remember his name. I didn't write it down, but I made him a little slip of paper with our website and our net times and frequencies. So hopefully if you did come into our net today, sir, we'll definitely want to get you on the net if you want to try. We do our nets on Discord if you don't have a transmitter, and then we output to DATV on 1.2 gigahertz and also YouTube. So that's it for this round. This is, I will say, Richard, you'll have to tell me more about Gus's chicken. I'm always into eating fried chicken places, so tell me more if it's fried chicken or if it's just some type of other type of restaurant. All right, well, that's it for me. This is W7ITL, back to net.
7ITL, thanks for that. We'll get an ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. I'll pause in case anybody else would like to come into the net or contact the net. Again, this is Dave, KD7ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. And hearing none, again, this is Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, let's pick up Jim, N7QO in Covington.
Dave, this is K9PQ. I believe Jim said he was going to be gone for this net. He was going to be gone for two nets, and I think this was the second of the two. Back to you, K9PQ.
Thank you. Thanks for that information. Let's move down the list and go to James, WU7N at Bellevue.
Dave, this is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Well, Bob, I know it's exciting to prowl around dark parks at night with your car loaded with various types of strange camera and radio equipment. I do that myself all the time. So, but maybe it is best to wait until there's daylight again. That might be less exciting, but probably more productive overall. Yeah, chicken and waffles. Okay, I want to hear more about this place too. I've not heard of the combination of chicken and waffles. Joke of the night, I was going to go out and have breakfast with someone at this place that serves beef tongue, and they said, that's disgusting, that's gross, that comes out of a cow's mouth, I'm not going to eat that. So we had eggs instead. Okay. The only thing I was kind of worried about with Mike Tyson in that fight is, if you make a certain amount of money, they start deducting from your Social Security check. And I was kind of worried that, Mike, they probably pay him something. I don't know if he checked with his accountant to know how much they were going to be pulling out of his Social Security, for his ring fee. But I suppose, maybe they've made those numbers run right for him. I don't know. I was kind of worried about that. Watching Mike Tyson as a kid, I don't know if they used boxing gloves back then or not, but I'm glad to see he's still in the ring, still practicing the craft. Let's see, what else is going on today? My gardener got up on the roof and cleaned the roof, and my goodness, when he cleans the roof, he really cleans the roof and really cleans the gutters. I think you could, you could cook either cow's tongue or eggs up on that roof. I mean, it is really clean. I saw him at one point with his safety rope on, and it was raining a little bit, and I was worried, wow, that's a little slick up there, and he had a little brush he was brushing the moss off with. He definitely will come back anytime. And afterwards, he doesn't clean the decks, so I got my compressor out and blew everything off. Yes, you'll be proud of me. First the upper deck, and then the lower deck. I got it right this time. After that, I cheated death by repressurizing 2 cans. One was a completely full can of WD-40, and it had no pressure. If you push the little squeezy top, nothing would come out. But I figured out it actually was a problem with the valve. I solved it by cutting the top at a 45-degree angle, but it's really pressurized now. Lee would be proud of me. And then the second one was a can of CLP that I put the attachment on the top and was pressurizing it off my compressor. I could hear a bubble, so I decided to stop. But both cans are just sitting on the shelf, just quivering once in a while, waiting for someone to pick them up and use them, so that went well. A couple teleconferences today, and of course everybody's wondering what the new year will bring, and so am I. I'm always interested in your opinions on all this stuff. So this is James. There's one other thing I wanted to mention, but I'll catch it next time. This is James WW7ATS, turning it back to our net control Dave. Go ahead.
WW7N, thanks for that. And I understand you're a Tyson fan, and I guess that fight was kind of interesting. Tyson lost, but he wants a rematch, so this will be interesting to see what happens. And good chicken, oh my gosh. And cleaning all decks, I think that was a great idea you had, getting the air compressor out. And now your roof is all clear of debris too, so due to the yard person that came out. Well, for me today, it was a little bit under the weather. I think I'm catching a little bit of a cold, so I sort of stayed inside and watched the Oregon game, and that was pretty good. But earlier in the day, I watched Notre Dame, and both games were pretty good. I enjoyed those pretty much. So that's what's going on with here with me. And Ron being able to go to a party, I think that's always great. The more socialization, the better you are. And Bob getting his preamp aligned with his field ATV transmitter unit. I think that's really great. So anyway, and then Wade getting a push-to-talk circuit will be a fantastic thing, so we can trigger the trigger the repeater by turning on a transmitter, which would make for testing so much easier. So I'll be looking forward to that. So with that, that's about all I've got to say. So I'm going to turn it back to AD7NP Carlos.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Everyone?
This is AD7NP. And I think my transmission is up also. I don't know if the repeater... Oh, there you go.
There you go.
There's
some signal there.
Good progress. I
continue to receive more little parts from AliExpress.
I think I was able to also
receive
the same USB stick that I bought on Amazon. 25, but the AliExpress
is only 18, and it does exactly the same
tuning to 1.2, so it's pretty good. Great progress on that
repeater wave.
I'm really big fan of being able to have the ability to turn on the transmitter from just a signal. So I think that's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
And I had quite a busy week in preparation. So tomorrow is the I'll be going to Chicago. This week was just a preparation for the event. So we'll be there from Monday to Wednesday night, or maybe Thursday. And then I'll be back. I'll miss the Wednesday one. But I'll be back for Saturday. I've been trying to weather to replace my receiving antenna. But, right now, seems to be doing a pretty good job on receiving. And just for the statistics, I'm at 2.2 megabits. And I still see some drops, but it's definitely much better than last week. So appreciate all the improvements. And sorry, Wade, that I won't be around for tomorrow, but I'll be back on the next weekend. I'm a fan of different chicken approaches. So if you guys send the link, I would look for that. I don't know if James was mixing the gutter cleaning with the chicken. That would be interesting, but maybe that's the next approach. And I'll leave it back to net control, Dave, and looking forward to see Ron's video. 87NP here from Clyde Hill, and turning off my transmission also. Back to you, Dave.
Carlos. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society back on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. So let's go to Ron, KD7QKU.
Well, when we were had the motorhome, we were in Colorado Springs. We went to the Air Force Academy and saw that beautiful church. I don't know if any of you have seen it or how many of you have seen it, so I'll see if I can show some pictures here. Stainless steel. It is beautiful. It's beautiful inside. Lots of stained glass windows at the big pipe organ. Beautiful place. They have more than one chapel. They have a couple of chapels downstairs for non-denominational and Jewish. It's quite a campus. Looking up. How many it will seat, I guess I probably knew at one time, but I don't remember anymore. But if you haven't seen it and you get a chance to go there, I certainly recommend you take time to look at it. My video's a little bit jerky. We went to quite a few places in Colorado Springs that summer. We went to Pikes Peak, and we went down, of course, all the towns. They had an Olympic training center there, And they also had a cowboy museum there. The cowboy museum was interesting. I have some pictures of it, but I don't think it does it justice. So, like, you can tell that we spent quite a bit of time inside the chapel, the church, sanctuary, whatever it was. And this is the campus. It, like I say, was a beautiful place. They had some airplanes on display. I can't tell you what they are. Again, I probably was told at one time. But yeah, it's made out of like stainless steel. It just shimmers in the sunshine. It's kind of a gorgeous place. It's probably my wife there with a sweatshirt around her waist. Okay, I guess that's enough of that. So you've seen the church. Picture. There we go. All right, well, thank you very much for letting me show my video. Like I say, I don't know how many of you have seen it, but if you get down that way, Colorado Springs, you need to stop by. All right, back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Well, hi again, everybody. So yeah, I wanted to give congratulations to Wade for getting that push-to-talk circuit working. That is going to be a huge deal for us. I'm really looking forward to seeing that in our repeater. And by the way, we're going to go up. I don't know if that's in the plans for tomorrow. Maybe Wade can speak to that. But Wade, Jim, and I are going to go up to the repeater tomorrow. We're going to put a GPU in the computer for one thing. It should help with a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that we're doing there, and you know, the fact that we're putting 3 streams out to YouTube, Twitch, and British Amateur Television Club, I believe it is, BATC, and there's just a lot going on, and a GPU card's going to help that a lot. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, I've got my own joke. It's really bad, but it's the joke that first came to mind. I just heard it today. The past tense of William Shakespeare would be, "Would I was shook speared." There you go. Back to net. K9PQ.
K9PQ, Bob, thanks for that. I guess a lot of booking agents will be contacting you shortly for tours in the comic world. So let's go on to Richard, K7ITX.
Well, gee whiz, I have to comment on Ron's video. It's just spectacular, Ron. I've done my fair share of churches in my construction career, but clearly nothing that even approaches that magnificent structure that you just showed us. Oh my God, I don't know. I would like to visit that. That maybe that needs to be on my my list before I'm gone, because that, you know, in Colorado doesn't seem that far away from Arizona either. Geez, God, I just am still stunned by the architecture, in particular the stained glass wood in the glass towers. Those are projects I've worked on before, but again, the stainless steel. Oh my goodness, that's very impressive. So anyway, back to what we were talking about previously, waffles and chickens. Let's
WW7ITX, we lost your audio.
Hello, okay. All right, do you hear me now? Did you hear me before? Hello, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that okay. Did you hear me before, or is this the beginning? Okay. Okay, well, anyway, sorry about that. I was trying to read the menu to you, and it's...
Cut off again, Richard. We don't hear you now.
And get an ID here. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Let's go to Wade, W7ITL.
Should be coming in any second on YouTube. I'm not watching myself on RF tonight because I don't have my receiver. I did receive a AliExpress DVB-T receiver today, but I don't have the PAL connectors yet. I ordered from Amazon, and they aren't going to be here until the 22nd or so I won't be able to test that. I might be able to get my receiver that I have up there right now back after this Sunday, because I think I'm going to leave the HV110 up there that I'm going to heavily shield. We're not going to do a PTT circuit this Sunday, but we're going to test it. I don't have the the PTT isolator circuit that I ordered from eBay that will isolate the PTT from the repeater controller up there that we use to key up the repeater when we're doing nets, and then the PTT circuit that we're going to be putting in place for the receiver. You just don't want to have two PTT circuit competing on the same circuit. All the voltage from the amplifier and the other unit will flood into the other PTT device, and that would be a bad thing. I don't know how long the receiver would be able to handle it, even with a reverse diode on there to prevent the power from flowing back into the receiver. But yeah, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to wait until that circuit, until that box that will have the two PTT inputs in to fully set up the auto PTT for DVB-T. But to kind of go back, make a few comments on some of the things that we've been talking about tonight. Richard, I do like myself some chicken and waffles, so I'm gonna have to, if I ever come out to Arizona, I'll have to go check out that place that you mentioned. I forget the name of the place now, but you'll have to let me know in the comments in the chat later. And Ron, that is an amazing church in Colorado. I did not know we had a church like that in Colorado. You have to tell me what church that is. Again, I didn't write that down, but it's pretty amazing architecture. All right. Well, don't have a lot more other than what Bob's already said what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to be doing a GPU upgrade on the streaming computer that'll help us out with doing multiple streams without burning the computer with all those streams. And I'm also going to be putting a SDR, an RTL SDR up there to investigate signal interference and also possibly some DVBS experimentation. We'll have to see how that goes with the DVBS. maybe Carlos gets back, we'll have to see if we can receive DVB-S over our SDR that we'll put up there. All right, well, that is it for me. I'm going to turn it back to Net, our Net Control Dave. All right, this is W7ITL, back to Net.
UHK.
That acknowledges Jessica KS7 UHK. Go ahead, Jessica.
I mean, the barge in, I just got back from a little concert, watching a little show up here in Everett, and just been busy doing things. And I can't remember. Last week I was bowling and falling down on the lane because I just wasn't used to it, and my shoes were slippery, and bam, right down on the floor I went, and it was like the first ball out of 3 games. So I was hurting by the end of last Saturday night. Just want to say hello, and I'll be here for the internet, and I'm going to pass it back. This is KF7 UHK.
UHK, thanks for that. Well, let's pick up James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Good to hear Jessica. I hope you had a good time at the concert, and thanks for dropping in. And Ron, thank you very much for that video. That was really impressive. I don't believe I've ever seen that. I can't remember if I've ever been to the Air Force Academy there, but I don't recall seeing the chapel, which I think is a major part of the campus, so I must never have been there, or I would have remembered that. Big thanks to Wade for all the work on the push-to-talk circuit and also the attention to safety. Look forward to talking more about that with you tomorrow on how you're isolating that. And I guess I could tell you that, yeah, I used a reverse diode once when I was chief engineer on the Hindenburg, and it just didn't go well. But so maybe we do need some more optical isolation on ours up there. Seriously, I know you put a lot of work into it. Thank you very much. No, I had a power hit here at just before 36 minutes after the hour. I heard my UPS kick on. Looks like my network held up, but the lights definitely flickered there. Wondering if anybody else is getting power hits tonight. I'm in Northeast Bellevue, and things have improved immensely since they replaced an underground cable on my street. That cable was just chronically bad. Every time it rained, we would just about lose power. It was sad. Wednesday, I'm expecting, this is the 4th attempt for CenturyLink to come out and fix the hum on the voice side of my landline, but the ADSL seems to be more or less holding up. I'm paying for, I think, 20 megabits per second, and last time I checked it was 9, so I'm hoping they can perhaps improve that a little bit as well. If anybody has any comments on CenturyLink or alternatives, I did go to a very good lecture on last Thursday on GNU radio. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that or not, but it is really very, very interesting. Open source architecture with all these little digital it's kind of like Vizio almost. You drag these little boxes around and hook them up, and you take the output from your dongle, and then you digitally process that signal using all these little sort of canned hunks of code that do a certain function. So I'm very interested in that and intend to pursue that as soon as I get hold of a dongle. Carlos, I'm interested. I've never bought anything from AliExpress, and I'm interested if you got that one for $19, how that works. I mean, if you just go there and establish, just buy it like you would off Amazon, establish an account. Curious to know how that functions. And also the exact link that you used to get that one that went up to 1.2 megahertz. Easier for you could just send the link, either text it to me or send it to my email. I'll put my email in the chat. So anyway, that's I think all I have here. I can see it's about 20 minutes to the top of the hour. This is James, Whiskey Uniform 7 November in Northeast Bellevue. Let me turn it back to Dave, our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society.
U7N, thanks for that. And many thanks to the crew that's going up by Wade, making improvements up at the repeater and hopefully getting a push-to-talk circuit up there. It'll be very good to have. Be looking forward to that. Yeah, for Ron, it was nice showing the pictures inside the chapel at the Air Force Academy. It's pretty beautiful architecture inside, very well put together. So it was nice seeing those pictures. And boy, chicken and more chicken in paradise land this time of the year down in Arizona as the weather has gotten to be nice and you can go out for a stroll without being fried chicken yourself. So that's been pretty good. So that's about what I've got to say. And for Carlos, I hope he has a good trip to Chicago and enjoys a little of the scenery if he can get away from working hard and enjoy a little sightseeing during the trip. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Carlos, 87NP.
Thank you very much, Dave.
87NP, back on the air. Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Pandora's box. I was inspired by Ron, and so I picked up some video that I had here on the computer. And I think at some point in time, I was in the Washington coast. And I saw all these kind of picking something from the sea. I don't think it was chicken. I know chicken is the topic of the evening, but I don't think it was chicken. But that was the video that I had.
So let's see if I can
back. So a couple of indeed looking forward to the WWS tests, Wade, because this would definitely open up to use the SDR engine. It's kind of quite easy to use. James, I don't think I'm that far from you because I'm also here in the Clydesdale, Bellevue area, but I have not seen any notice of power outage, although quite a complex system. I have batteries, and if everything fails, then the generator will kick in. Even with this rain today, I was able to generate 3.5 kilowatts today. So I think I can just do this net today based on my own generated power if needed. But the batteries will kick in. I am familiar with GNU Radio. I must tell you that simple things will work, like just playing the FM radio. The graph is quite complicated. And I will send the link. And by the way, James, on the DVB, on this DATV, we've been sending a lot of comments of the different experiments that we've been doing. And so I have set some instructions there also on how to use the mixer and also on how to this simple one. And I will send the instructions. Typically what I do on AliExpress is I use my Gmail account and I'll just pay with PayPal. And then I'll just use PayPal rather than sending the credit card over there. And usually in a couple of weeks things show up here. So I would always say kind of typically there's a difference between $5 to $10 lower on AliExpress versus the same device on Amazon. So if you don't mind waiting, it's always and going back to the GNU radio, it's a
you do need probably a powerful enough Linux box running
on some Intel, and with this one you will just be able to use it on Windows. I'll be able to help you if you get one, and I can show you the steps. But they are also posted on the DATV field testing, the instructions, and I'll send the link again also for all of it. I think that's all. I just forgot to mention, Bob, I do think going to Magnuson Park at night with all the gear doesn't seem like the best option of the moment. Unless, you could have a bucket truck, and you could just be on the bucket truck and go and take the camera to the top. This might be an idea. I'll find one on what is it, government auctions, and we'll find a bucket truck for you. This can help with DATV experiences. Maybe that's what we need, a bucket truck. All right, back to you, Dave. Net control from 87NP, Carlos here in Clyde Hill.
87NP, Carlos, thanks for that. And let's go back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
West Dave, KD7QKU here. Well, Carlos, that bucket truck sounds like a good idea. I don't know how high Bob would have to go near his house to get into the repeater. If he could get over there on that Nike site, he might be able to. But if you go over there with a bucket truck, they might not like the idea. Carlos, they might have been dipping for smelt there in the water, or maybe there's another fish called hooligans, very similar to smelt. We used to go down by the Columbia River where the Lewis River ran in, and you could dip in the Lewis River, and it was 20 pounds a person, I think. So we went down with 3 or 4 people, and they had kids and we had 2 boys, and we ended up with way more smelt. 20 pounds was about half a water bucket, 5-gallon water bucket full, or maybe a third of it. So we came home with them. It was kind of late at night, and my brother loves smelt. I love to fry them, and then they come out almost like French fries, and have them for breakfast. You put a little ketchup on them with eggs and salt. Man, they're really good. And so my brother loved them too. He lived there in Bellevue, so I called him, said, "You want some smelt?" And he said, "Sure." So I taken him over a couple of, or at least 1 bucket, maybe with 2 limits in it or something. And we cleaned them. You would cut them open and clean them, and then of course we'd freeze them. And I don't know how many 5-gallon buckets we had, probably 3 or 4 or 5. Anyway, I was getting sick of cleaning them, so I remember I called him. It was probably 10 o'clock at night, and said, "Hey, you want some more smelt?" I got a whole bunch more, and he said some nasty 4-letter words and hung up the phone. So he was sick of them, I guess, too. All right, seemed like I was going to say something else, but now I forgot what it was. So, interesting net, fun net. Back to Dave, KD7ZYM in the group, KD7QKU.
QKU, thanks for that. And get a quick ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. And let's wake up Jessica again, KF7UHK.
Up here in Everett. I want to welcome Carlos from Clyde Hill. We have a great signal coming in, and it sounds like you're very handy with with electronics, and I just love that. It's really cool. Let's see, the group we saw tonight was called the Rock Martins, and we watched it at a place called the Madison, which is a great place to have breakfast up here in Everett. Just a little small, tiny little venue. They have good drinks and a nice little small stage. So that's kind of what we did tonight. But today we've had this problem with our house up north, and that is it has really strange water pressure. If you want cold water in the kitchen sink, it just barely dribbles out. But we get good warm water. We don't know why. So we called in a place called the repipe specialists, and they came in and told me what I think I figured, which was whoever tinkered this house together after it was once in business. It's kind of like Frankenstein. It wasn't done very well. And so we're going to have them repipe the place, and it wasn't that expensive to have them do this. It should only take like 2 days. I mean, all the way out to the water pipe on the main road is where they're going to go back all the way back to there, and with like Class A techs, which is a nice modern way of doing piping. So we're really excited about that. We've had several different bids on this project, and these guys actually seemed about the most reasonable and like they knew what they're talking about. So with that, I'm going to pass it back. Good to hear everybody, and this is Jessica, KF7UHK.
UHK, thanks for that. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Okay, hey everybody. So first thing I have to do is show Carlos works fast. He's already lined up a bucket truck for me. I'll be right out to get it. Yeah, well, the bucket in this case, you know, the transmission and reception at Magnuson is great. The bucket truck would be to keep me above all of the other action that I would like to avoid. That's why I'm not going back. The cars racing through the parking lot. You know, I didn't feel scared at the time, but I just thought, you know, it'd probably be the wise thing to do would be probably just to leave at this point. And I figured Saturday night would only be worse. Jessica, yeah, that's really great on the repiping. I thought of doing that here because we have just horrible PVC pipe, and it was, you know, they went from, you know, iron to copper to, I don't know if they had anything else in between, but for a short time they had PVC, and man, at least the way they did it here, I suppose it can be done well. The way they did it here is really poor, and we've had many of the units, the condo units, spring leaks. The worst thing is the pipe holds up reasonably well, but the valves deteriorate, and then when you try to turn off the valve, the whole thing breaks apart. So yeah, it's just terrible. Let's see, the still picture that you guys have been seeing is this rock, kind of taken from this angle maybe, and really close up. I was playing with a lens I got with my camera that would do good close-up pictures, and so that's where that comes from. What else I have? Oh, the Nike site that Ron was referring to right next to me. It was a former Nike site. It's now FEMA, and yeah, I was given serious thought to like parking right out on the road in front of them with my ham radio gear. I've come close to doing it, but you know, maybe I'll try contacting them. But when I tried it, now I haven't tried it with the LNA. I really should do that. The last time I tried it with the ATV, with this new ATV setup with just the vertical antenna on the car, it didn't work. But maybe with this LNA it will. So, but you know, I think they may even have like no stopping signs out in front of there, you know, because they're just obviously it's part of their whole security thing. I'm not sure that would work, but I am looking for places in my neighborhood. I think there are a few places that might work. I think I had something else. Oh yeah, James, the upper deck and lower deck. Aren't we fancy? 2 decks, upper and lower. Good thing you got them both cleaned off, and I hope that, you know, sometimes you got to be careful with the pressure washers because they will strip off the whatever you've got coating the deck. So I hope that wasn't a problem. Okay, well, I'm going to say 73. We're getting close to the end, and good to talk to you all and see you out there. Oh, and I did want to say one more thing, and that is, I think we might have more than half of the people, even though I'm not on, coming in directly, sending video directly up to the repeater, and that's just very exciting. So I didn't think it would happen this fast, and I just think I'm really happy about it. Okay, I'll send it back. K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. Let's pick up Richard again in Arizona, K7ITX.
Okay, well, I think I've got things under control this time. My problem was trying to do everything on my iPhone, and that just wasn't going to happen. So I'm doing the other thing, the actual chicken menu. Well, it's Lolo's Chicken and Waffles.com. I actually put that in the chat along with Gus's Chicken in Phoenix. I guess though actually is in about 50 different places throughout the United States. But there are some intriguing items like at the Chicken and Waffle house, Mama White's, 1-piece chicken, peppers, Southern style grits, 2 eggs, home fries and toast, or let's see, here's a good one, eggs and mo, waffle breakfast sandwich, cheesy eggs, your choice of breakfast meat, all stuffed between waffle. So I haven't been to this place yet. I read one review where they waited 45 minutes to get a table. So that was a pretty good testimony. So yeah, it's been great seeing this direct video HD repeater linkage that, like you said, Bob, has just happened a lot quicker than I think a lot of us ever realized. And of course we can thank Wade for spearheading the entire show. So thanks again to Wade as usual. So that's really about all I have. I'm taking a trip out to a place called Cave Creek tomorrow. I've never been there. My wife Debbie has, and one of my best friend's sister lives out there and has invited us out there to watch football and have pizza. So that's what's going on tomorrow for me. And with that, I'll say 73, K7ITX, back to net control.
ITX, thanks for that. And it's time to terminate the net. This has been the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, KD7CYM. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 for our voice transmissions for our nets on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7CYM, terminating the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.